Calvin Kattar facing Giga Chikadze. Once again, in 2022, Calvin Kattar is going to start off in the main event of the very first card. He did it last year against Max Holloway. Obviously, that did not go his way. He was a guy that earlier in his career, man, cashed it as a big dog. Now there's a lot more tape on him, a lot more sort of information on Calvin Kattar. Giga Chikadze, 7-fight win streak, karate black belt. He's just on fire right now. I mean, this guy is really sort of the name to be watching here at 145 pounds. Break down this matchup for me and sort of where you think the value is in the line.
Well, let me start off by saying this. I'm a big Calvin Kattar fan. I love his team, the Boston Cartel, a lot of good fighters, great coach over there. However, you know, it's been, not only has it been a year layoff, that fight against Max Holloway, I think he took the most amount of damage any fighter has ever taken. And, you know, when you're coming back to try to, you know, reacclimate, get back into the mix, you want to play into a style that's favorable. For me, this couldn't be a worse matchup for him. You know, he's not someone who utilizes his wrestling. He's not someone that really has much of a threatening ground game. So someone who likes to rely on their striking, he is fighting someone in Giga Chikadze who is a sniper. We've seen Chikadze evolve throughout his career. You know, his first 2 fights were split decision wins. You know, we've seen him kind of get taken down, but his takedown defense has gotten better. His striking, and this guy's confidence is through the roof. I just think for Calvin Kattar, this is a bad matchup, low reward, even if he were to win this fight against someone who's still considered a high-level prospect. For me, Giga Chikadze, even at these odds, I know our protocol, we don't like to go over minus 200. I just don't see how he loses here. I think that Kattar's wrestling is not much of a threat. Again, I don't know how much of that damage is going to be a toll for him, and just Chikadze's striking and that Giga kick, watch out for that kick to the liver. You know, he's going to throw that a bunch of times. And even though you know it's coming, it's so hard to prepare for. So for me, this is Chikadze's time to shine, getting the chance to see him in the main event. I don't need to see it go in the 5 rounds either, but for me, he's going to get this done.
Okay, so obviously listening to everything you say, you love Giga Chikadze in this matchup. I don't think, you know, I can understand all of the reasons why. Here's my one question to you is that I don't like paying for full price for anything, you know, and I know you're the same. If we go through the whole of 2022 and we're paying full price for everything, it's not going to work out for us in the long run, you know, and when I look at Giga Chikadze and what the performance that he's coming off of against Edson Barboza and the performance that Calvin Kattar is coming off of 1 year ago, it just seems too pricey. It seems like there's a potential of it being too pricey, where you got one guy coming off a very bad performance, one guy coming off of an outstanding performance. You know, you look at Giga Chikadze historically, in his fights in the UFC, he has not been this tremendously big favorite, and now here he is breaking into you know, the top 5 for the first time, and he's minus 240 favorite. So give me some thoughts on that, Ian. I know that you believe that Giga is going to win this fight, but how do you balance the two and sort of, are we getting any value at this price?
You know what? I really think that we are getting value even at minus 240. And the reason why, Brett, the true honest reason why is because of everything you just said, because he's just breaking into the top 5. You know, he just is coming off the win over Barboza and the Cub Swanson finishes. You know, if he was someone that had fought another top 5 ranked fighter in his division, he'd probably be minus 400. You know, look, Kattar, a year off is usually not good for anybody. I don't know too many people not named Dominic Cruz that come back from a year layoff off of whether it's damage or injury and are able to perform to their best ability and have a stylistic fight that's favorable to them. I just don't see it here. You know, Chikadze against Barboza, look, the reason why he was even money was because of Barboza's resume, not Chikadze. You know, Cub Swanson, again, Swanson's been fighting on the lower part of the ranked fighters, you know, within the top 15. You know, obviously that Simmons fight was ridiculous at minus 1,000, but he's worked his way up. And we just keep seeing him getting better and better and more dangerous. And again, because I believe this fight is going to purely stay on the feet, that is why Chikadze gets the win here. To your point, if you're not comfortable laying those type of odds, normally I'm not. I'm just really confident in this pick here. We're going to also put him in our parlay we're going to talk about later, so we're going to get value that way as well.
Okay, the last thing to wrap up this one is you mentioned it a couple times, but I want you to expand on it a little bit more. You said that Calvin's wrestling is not going to be a factor in this fight. You think it's going to be played out on the feet. You also said that he comes from a very smart camp. And Tyson Chartier, he's going to be looking at this matchup, and he's going to be asking himself, you know, do we got to at least try? Do we at least got to try to take this guy down? You know, I tend to give Giga Chikadze the benefit of the doubt. I think he will have the takedown defense when the time comes. But do you think we will see that tested at all? And what makes you so confident that Calvin, if he does try to wrestle, will be unsuccessful with it?
I just think that Chikadze has fought guys with more unpredictable wrestling. I think Calvin Kattar is going to have to either pressure Chikadze and really take it to him quick. Can't sit back. He can't let Chikadze dictate the pace. That's what Giga has done, and that's what's made him so dangerous. I do think, to your point, though, with Tyson Chartier, listen, the guy knows his stuff. He's one of the best coaches in the game. Wrestling has to be part of this here. Giga off his back. Granted, we've seen an improvement in his skills. I just don't see how on the feet that favors Kattar. And again, it's not like he has that wrestling that's so unpredictable with an outside single or, a real hard double leg that he has been so successful with. So for me, I think Giga's takedown defense is more than good enough for a fight against Calvin Kattar to keep it standing.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.